Hiya, welcome back to Woodwork Journey. I'm Dean, and today I might be biting off a bit too much, but let's see how we get on. I felt that my smile on that finishing bit for the intro just might have been a bit manic because my eyebrows do. Anyway, right, so if you watched the last video, you'll know that I'm changing from table saw to Tracksaw. That I've recently just popped this in a box, but this was my MFT that I tried making and made lots of cock-ups on it and all this sort of stuff. The grid pattern is for the micro jig match fit system. The 20mm holes were 100mm spaced apart, and you know, it was kind of okay, but not 100% perfect. So yeah, I need to be better. Now you can buy things like the path guide system and various other things, or you can buy MFT tops for like 50 quid or something, but I don't have that money, so I'm going to be making mine from scratch again. Not this one, but I might use this while I'm making it. It's just the plywood top with the holes in it with some OSB around the outside. But yeah, this might be my cutting base for doing some bits and bobs with the Tracksaw, because what I'm thinking of doing is this right here is my old table saw cabinet. Now I was just going to make that insert just for the middle here, but I've realised that it would be more beneficial if I bring the holes out further along and I do some other bits and bobs to make my transition into table saw, Tracksaw life as painless as possible. Just checking that the microphone hadn't flipped over. And yeah, and I've got to put things like shelves in here and various bits and bobs. Now, I've got some MDF that I salvaged recently, and I'm going to use that for this, but it's got a white melamine top on it. And I've realised that rather than this nice plywood top with the dark wood surround that I've done for the table saw, if this is all that white melamine, then it could be also good for an assembly table, because the dog holes would help keep things straight. The fact that it's melamine, things won't stick to it as much and all that sort of nonsense. So I figured that would probably be quite good. Also, this is possibly a little bit too tall, so I wouldn't mind just taking an inch off the height of it. So today, what I'm going to try and do is, I mean, I've screwed in all of these. I've got loads of screws that have all got blooming, I've put dowels on the top of for feature pieces, so I'm going to have to dig all of them out, and then I'm going to have to see how I've attached this, because I can't remember if I glued it or not. Then I'm going to have to see how I can take an inch off the top of this whole cabinet, and we'll take it from there. And then I think probably the next video will be me making the MFT top as well as the side wings for this, I think. That should be the way forward. I've got my table saw up for sale. I'm selling a computer, so hopefully I'll have the Makita Tracksaw relatively soon. And sorry if you can hear the wind outside, by the way, it's very loud. But for the time being, I'm still using the Erbauer. Okay, good, right. Let's see about digging some of these screws out, shall we? Don't know how it's going to work. So my first idea is to try drilling this out. So I've got a reasonably sized drill bit there. I'm not using a brad point bit because that would be ridiculous. But I don't know if this is going to strip out the Torx head of the screw that's holding it in. So we'll just have to see. Take things nice and slowly. Slowly? This is where one of them vertical drilling doohickeys would be good. Aha! Right, do the same with the one up here. Okay, so that's exposed the heads a little bit. If you're doing this, don't do what I'm doing and just hold the blade between your fingers, because it's stupid. But I thought it was such a good idea to make this look all pretty and put plugs over the top. Here we go. Rocking and rolling. Right, so just got another 2, 4, 6 and then 4 pocket screws to worry about. So I'll crack on and get doing those. Fingers crossed. Yes, and I didn't even have to undo the pocket screws. Awesome! Alrighty, so we've got the top off. I've got some kind of blocking pieces at the front here that I've just screwed on each side. So then I'm going to go around. I'm probably going to take this piece off. I don't know about those because they look like they're glued, so we'll worry about that in a little while. But yeah, I'll take this piece off because I think this is just screwed in, 2 screws each side. We'll see about those because yeah, I really want to take just an inch off, because with the table saw idea, you're leaning over it a little bit more than you were with the with the table saw. You're pushing things through, and so this height was perfect for me. However, I will be kind of doing that and be reaching a little bit more, so from my health point of view, it's better if I'm not kind of lifting things up full extension with just my shoulders if I can help it, or trying to reduce that leverage a little bit. So yeah, I will now see about disassembling this a little bit further and taking an inch off all the way around. Okay, progress is being made. Now this section here that the saw was resting on is actually loose, so I've just got to disconnect the air hose, and then that I can just pull that out, and then really it's just taking an inch off the top here. Now if I could lay these sideways, that would make life a lot easier. Wait, I've got pocket holes holding this together here. I'm not sure what I'm going to do here. Well, this bar might have to come out, and there is a bar at the back there which is also held on with pocket screws, but if I take those out, there's a chance that these 2 sections might sort of implode because there's nothing really holding them together. There's just pocket screws at the bottom there. Yeah, I mean, if I could put it on its side, and then I could run the Tracksaw across it, and that would be a nice easy way of taking the inch off. But that would mean disassembling from the base, which is just pocket screws. There's a lot of them. I feel any other way I do this is going to be really ropey. See, this is why you watch this channel. It's not just to get the answers, it's to see someone else struggling for a change, not having the answers. Oh, and also for the person or the people who told me that my workshop was too messy on the last video, I agree. Once I get this done, then I can then see about, because the router will be in here, so I've got a router table I can disassemble. I've got like a nappy changing cabinet there, which is 3 really deep drawers, and I'll be able to get rid of both of them and then make some more storage, so all the stuff that's piled everywhere actually has a home. That'll be good. So yeah, that's why everywhere's a chaotic mess at the moment. But right, I will come back to you when I have an idea what I'm doing. Fuck. Right, so I know it looks exactly the same as when I started, but I've got all of these pieces off it, so it's a little bit lower now, which is exactly what I wanted. The reason I didn't do it on the bottom is because I've got a flat piece of ply on the bottom, and I am going to have to snipe off the bottom of the legs of my workbench as well, but I'm going to worry about that another day. So yeah, what I've done is I've made sure that I've got strengtheners back in at the back of that one and the back of that one. When I had to lay it on its side to cut it, and I used the sort of movable table in the middle to strengthen between the 2 bits so it didn't kind of pull itself out of alignment. and on the back there I had a drawer in to hold it together. But yeah, we're now a little bit shorter. So yeah, now is the time to get the MDF on top and see how much of that we've got to get taken down. So this is one of the pieces of MDF that I was able to salvage. I'm really pleased that just one of them will do the trick. So I am going to have to cut out the space in the middle to allow the MFT to be interchangeable with the router, but that's something else we'll worry about. But for the time being, or should I just do one for each side and then take it from there? Because what I'm thinking about is to just do one side, then do the other side, then I've got a hole in the middle to do the MFT and the router table. And I think that's probably the way forward. And if I oversize them a little bit, then I can make sure everything's square, can't I? Yes, and this is far too wide as well, so I'm going to have to cut this down anyway. But yeah. Right, so we'll get one on there first, and then take it from there, I think. See, this is where a table saw would be handy, but it's also somewhat dangerous as well, because the table saw with such a large sheet could be problematic. And this is heavy stuff. This isn't MDF, but it is MDF. Now, another annoyance about this that I know already is because my Erbauer track is only 700, it's significantly too short. So if I put the two size tracks together, I can maybe take off the front and the back, and then we'll see how we get on. Do need some of those, you know, them ratcheting things, because this is really difficult. And you got slightly knackered fingers. Right then, Mr. Tracksaw, let's see you do everything you were designed to do. We're going to try a scoring cut first, and then give it the beans. Right, move that to there. That can only come down. I mean, it still comes down a fair old way, but we'll see if it scores like it's supposed to, I guess. Alrighty, we're solid. Not got any movement. Well, got a little bit of movement, but let's tighten that up. Oh, can you see that? That's actually pretty damn reasonable. Considering this all's an Erbauer, of course. Right, so now I've got to see about doing the proper roughy tufty cut. So off the trench cut. Oh, I definitely need a lighter saw. And let's kind of see if we can get an idea of how deep this is going. Don't even need to go quite that deep. The gauge on here is not great. But I learned from Mr. Peter Millard that you want the teeth to be kind of going through the piece rather than cutting far too deep. So that's what we're going to go for. And yes, I've just realised I should have been wearing my my mask because this is MDF. So don't shout at me in the comments. I know, and I will do on the next one. Dust collection on the Erbauer is garbage now. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why you don't do stupid cuts. I've wrecked the track with that kickback. So, you know, that's a thing. Okay, and that, you bunch of legends, is where we're stopping today. And the reason we're stopping is because I think it's important to address what just happened. I made multiple mistakes on that last cut, one of which was the work wasn't fully supported. Secondly, the rail was not long enough for the cut that I was going. So as I pushed through it, the saw could tilt off to one side as it got to the end, because the front wasn't supported on the rail. And it could obviously have been significantly worse. Now, I know some people will say, but hasn't that Tracksaw got the anti-kickback thing? And it has, but not my one. I'd rather not go into that, but for me, it was a better thing to take it off. Now then, so I think that's been a learning experience. Get the right size rail, make sure that your workpieces are all fully supported, and yeah, just be safe about things. I have a terrible habit of minimizing issues and think, well, if I'm not dead or I haven't lost any fingers or limbs, then I'm probably all right. But realizing that obviously I'm on camera, I want to make sure that we all just take a moment to think about things before we do them, because I didn't there. And just because I got away with it the first time, I clearly didn't on the second. Luckily, no damage. I wasn't hurt. I jarred my back a little bit, I think, but that was just the shock. But do let me know down below. I mean, I'm sure plenty of people will have comments about that, but do let me know down below how you would attach these to there. I've just realised that I could possibly put dowels in. That way, there's absolutely no metal hardware, so it would be even safer. And as you know, I'm all about safety. So yeah, so that's it for today. The next video will be me fixing these, and then we'll start looking at getting the main pieces in, which will be the MFT top and the router top. But thank you very much for watching, and thank you for sticking with me. I will endeavour to post the next video as soon as possible, but today I'm going to go and have a rest, edit this, and then we'll take it from there. But yeah, let me know. Dowels, screws, what would you do? Let me know. Thanks very much. Bye-bye.